What if China's most dangerous sleeping volcano suddenly wakes up? What do you think would happen? Its true destructive power is something most people are not prepared to believe. According to records from the Changbaishan Volcano National Observation Station, its eruption in the year 946 was so violent that it expelled over 100 cubic kilometers of volcanic material, equivalent to 1,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs detonating into the sky at once. Pyongyang, 500 kilometers away, was buried under 10 centimeters of ash, sealing doors and darkening the world. Tokyo, 1,000 kilometers away, lost the sun for 3 straight days. It took Northeast Asia nearly a century to crawl back from that lifeless silence. This volcano was never a harmless giant, nor has it ever truly slept. According to Changbaishan Global Geopark records, it has produced 2 supereruptions since the Holocene. And even in recent centuries, it erupted 3 more times, 1597, 1668, and 1702, each clearly documented in historical records. Geologists estimate its eruption cycle to be roughly 200 to 300 years, and the last eruption was over 300 years ago. That means its deadline has quietly passed. Even more unsettling, between 2002 and 2005, Changbaishan briefly woke up. Frequent earthquakes shook the region, and the mountain itself began to deform as monitoring data spiked. Then, as if nothing happened, it went silent again in 2005. But the silence of a volcano is often the most dangerous omen. GPS networks now reveal a magma chamber beneath Changbaishan, twice the size of Seoul. High-temperature gases continue to build pressure deep underground. So the question becomes, when will it erupt again? Japanese experts once predicted a 99% chance of eruption before 2032. But Chinese and Korean scientists argue the evidence is far from sufficient. The risk is real, but the timing remains unknowable. No instrument on Earth can give a precise warning. So let's ask a bigger question. If Earth's supervolcanoes were ranked, where would Changbaishan stand? Hello, Earthlings. Welcome back to Deep Space Society. Today, let's examine what would happen if Earth's true volcanic giants erupted. Before we confront Earth's deadliest volcanoes, we must first understand one thing. Not all eruptions are equal. Some merely shake a region, others rewrite the planet. So let's classify supervolcanoes using just 2 core scientific indicators: the volume of erupted material and the scale of ecological impact. 4 levels of supervolcanoes. Level 1, regional impact. The eruption affects several thousand kilometers, causing local ecological disturbance. But Earth's global ecosystem can still self-correct. Level 2, intercontinental impact. Entire continents experience short-term environmental disruption, hitting aviation and agriculture hard. Level 3, global impact. Worldwide climate begins to wobble, volcanic winter takes hold, crops fail, sunlight weakens, and temperatures plunge. Level 4, extreme planetary impact. These eruptions don't just alter climate, they threaten the continuity of human civilization itself. And where does Changbaishan rank? At best, the upper edge of level 1. But the volcanoes we're about to examine next are far more dangerous. One of them even reshaped human evolution. When people hear active volcano, their first thought is often Mount Fuji, serene, elegant, and deadly. This picturesque mountain is in fact a fully active volcano with undeniable eruptive potential. Its most destructive eruption occurred in 1707, the Hoei eruption. Historical records and geological evidence reveal the scale. Tokyo was buried beneath 30 centimeters of ash. Countless homes collapsed under the weight of volcanic dust. Japan entered 3 days of unnatural dimness, as if shrouded by something cosmic. Tens of thousands were displaced as the ecosystem faltered. Monitoring shows Mount Fuji's magma chamber has reached 1.6 megapascals, higher than before the 1707 eruption. Over 200 natural fissures have cracked open around the mountain. These are not random accidents, they are geological warnings. But the scientific community cannot agree on one thing. Is Fuji's eruption cycle 300 years or 500 years? And more importantly, when it erupts next, will it be gentle or catastrophic? No one knows. Parts of Japan may suffer temporary collapse of transportation, electricity, and communication. Volcanic ash would ride atmospheric currents toward China and the Korean peninsula. The global aviation industry may face 1 to 3 months of disruption due to ash corrosion. But compared to the next volcano on our list, Fuji is only a local tremor, because the next supervolcano once plunged the entire northern hemisphere into chaos. Now we enter level 2 and beyond. The volcanoes that don't just shake a nation, but destabilize entire continents. And at their center stands one name that terrifies geologists worldwide: Yellowstone. Hidden beneath the peaceful forests of Yellowstone National Park lies a volcanic monster large enough to reshape Earth's climate. This is not a normal volcano. It is a supervolcano whose eruptions have rewritten the map of North America. Yellowstone's 3 cataclysmic eruptions. Geological records reveal 3 colossal eruptions in its history. 2.1 million years ago, the Huckleberry Ridge eruption, releasing 250 cubic kilometers of material. 1.3 million years ago, the Mesa Falls eruption, releasing 280 cubic kilometers. 640,000 years ago, the Lava Creek eruption, releasing 240 cubic kilometers. To grasp this scale, imagine covering the entire city of Beijing under 20 meters of volcanic debris, or building a road around Earth's equator 240 times. That is the kind of violence Yellowstone is capable of. What happens within 1,000 kilometers during a Yellowstone eruption? Ecosystems collapse. Rivers violently reroute as pyroclastic flows reshape the land. Cities vanish beneath ash. But its true global danger comes not from the lava, but the aerosols. Massive amounts of sulfur aerosols would flood into the stratosphere, forming a natural shield against sunlight. The result? A drop in global temperature by 6 to 8 degrees Celsius, volcanic winter, a darkness lasting 3 to 5 years. Agriculture collapses, food supply tightens, nations tremble. Is Yellowstone preparing to erupt again? Scientists are divided because the signs are both alarming and inconclusive. Monitoring shows Yellowstone's surface rises 7 centimeters every year. Hydrothermal explosions are frequent, and the ground breathes like something alive beneath it. Some researchers estimate a 1% chance of eruption in the next 100 years. But others argue that Yellowstone is simply experiencing natural fluctuations during its dormant cycle. No consensus, no certainty. Only silence and pressure building beneath. But even Yellowstone, one of Earth's most terrifying volcanoes, is still not the most catastrophic event in human history. Because the next volcano on our list once plunged the entire world into chaos and erased the summer from an entire year. If Yellowstone shook the climate, then Tambora shattered it entirely. Because in April of 1815, humanity witnessed one of the most violent eruptions ever recorded. Tambora, the eruption that removed summer from the world. For 10 continuous days, Tambora roared like a planet-sized engine tearing open the sky. It released 160 cubic kilometers of volcanic material, equivalent to detonating 22,000 atomic bombs. The mountain summit collapsed from 4,100 meters to just 2,851 meters, leaving behind a caldera 6 kilometers wide, like a scar carved by the Earth itself. Within 1,000 kilometers, entire regions were buried in ash. Over 100,000 people lost their homes due to pyroclastic flows, tsunamis, and landslides triggered by the eruption. But Tambora's true destruction was global. Massive sulfur aerosols shot into the stratosphere, forming a planetary sun shield. This shield dimmed the sun itself. Global temperatures fell by 0.7 degrees Celsius, enough to rewrite human history. 1816. The year without summer snow fell in June across Europe and North America. Rivers froze in July. Crops failed worldwide. Asia suffered drastic drops in rice and wheat production, triggering food shortages. Ocean currents went chaotic, as if Earth's climate engine misfired. In India, the disrupted environment triggered a cholera outbreak that spread across continents. A single eruption reshaped the social and political landscape of the 19th century. Is Tambora still dangerous today? Geological surveys reveal that its magma chamber is larger than previously thought. Active magma continues to feed from below, suggesting it is far from dormant. Its eruption cycle remains uncertain. The last supereruption was in 1815, and before that, around the year 535. That's roughly 1,280 years apart, but we don't know the timing or intensity of the next one. Even so, Tambora is still not the ultimate destroyer, because the final volcano on our list didn't just alter climate, it nearly erased humanity itself. Its eruption triggered a bottleneck in human evolution and almost reset civilization. If Tambora disrupted the world, then Toba nearly erased it, because 74,000 years ago, Earth experienced a volcanic event so violent, so colossal, that human evolution itself was forced into a bottleneck. Toba, the supervolcano that broke the world. Based on UNESCO geological core samples, the Toba eruption released more than 3,000 cubic kilometers of volcanic material. That is 12 times the largest Yellowstone eruption and 18 times the power of Tambora. The aftermath was apocalyptic. Ash towers blocked sunlight for years. Southeast Asia was buried under layers of ash up to 10 meters thick. Global temperatures plunged by 15 degrees Celsius. Earth was forced into a millennium-long winter. Humanity on the brink of extinction. During this era, early humans faced starvation, collapsing ecosystems, and mass migrations. Plants vanished, animals fled, food became nearly non-existent. Human population shrank dramatically worldwide. This led scientists to propose the human genetic bottleneck hypothesis. Genetic studies show a drastic drop in genetic diversity around this time, suggesting that humanity may have been reduced to only a few thousand survivors. But the truth is still debated. Some argue a single eruption couldn't nearly exterminate our species. Others insist extreme climate changes were enough to push humanity to the brink. Is Toba preparing to erupt again? Its eruption cycle is estimated at roughly 100,000 years, and we are currently 74,000 years past the last one, meaning we are entering the active window of its geological cycle. Seismic waves show its magma chamber remains active, with magma continuing to rise from the mantle below. But no evidence indicates an imminent eruption, which ironically makes it even more terrifying. Because silent volcanoes are the ones that kill without warning. In the end, what do these volcanic giants mean for humanity? They remind us that human civilization is fragile, a thin thread stretched across the shifting crust of a restless planet, and nature does not care whether we are ready.